If you think copper is just another commodity, think again. Behind the scenes of every EV, AI server, and upgraded power grid, copper is the unsung hero and demand is exploding. But supply can't keep up, so in this video I'll break down 3 copper stocks that are perfectly positioned to ride this massive shift, and one of them just gained a massive advantage that could supercharge its profits well beyond today's figures. And this isn't about mining, it's about spotting the backbone of the next industrial boom. So let's explain why copper is the next big thing. Copper is quickly becoming one of the most critical materials for modern technology. It's the backbone of EVs, AI data centers, and upgraded power grids, which are 3 industries that are exploding right now. EV demand alone is a game changer. Copper use for EVs is expected to nearly double by 2030, since each EV needs far more copper than a gas car.
Did you know? Each EV contains up to 180 pounds of copper, nearly 4 times more than a gas-powered car.
Now, I didn't know that, Tiara, but that is helpful to know. Plus, copper that's needed in AI data centers is another hidden giant. They require massive amounts of copper wiring, and US demand is projected to average 400,000 metric tons per year for the next decade. Then there's a power grid overhaul. So copper demand from grid upgrades should reach 14.9 million tons by 2030, fueling even more strain on supply. And inventories are already tight, and as time goes on, it should get even tighter. So with massive demand, limited supply, and fresh policy support stacking the odds in favor of US copper companies, it's clear that some players are perfectly positioned to ride this wave. So our first pick is a giant in the industry, one with unmatched reach, game-changing assets, and a really unique advantage that could see its profits surge as copper prices climb. So let's get into it. Freeport-McMoRan is one of the biggest producers in the world, with mining operations stretching all across North America, South America, and Indonesia. That scale alone gives it serious leverage, but right now, it's got an added edge that could push profits sharply higher. So the recent 50% tariff on most international copper imports is a major advantage for Freeport, which is what I hinted at in the start of the video here. So roughly 2/3 of its North American sales come from copper products that are directly protected by the tariff, allowing the company to charge premium prices without as much pressure from overseas competitors. Freeport also owns some of the most valuable copper assets on the planet, including the massive Grasberg mine, which can keep producing efficiently even if the market gets volatile. With copper prices trending upward and demand surging for EVs, data centers, grid upgrades, etc., that efficiency could really turn into explosive earnings growth. Now here I have to stop for a second to say that if you're into spotting breakout setups like Freeport early on, subscribing to the channel may just give you the edge that you're looking for as I try to spot trends before those on Wall Street make them explode. So take a second to hit subscribe if you want more content like this, and obviously I appreciate that. Now, Freeport's position makes it a clear frontrunner in the copper boom, but dominance isn't the only path to big gains. So the next pick in our list is a fast-moving player that's rapidly scaling up, hitting record numbers, and betting big on a US project that could change the game in just a few years. Hudbay Minerals might not be the biggest name in copper, which is the exact opposite of the next stock on the list, which we'll talk about in a second, but it's quickly becoming one of the most exciting growth stories in the industry. Over the past year, the company has posted record earnings and is aggressively expanding, especially through a fully permitted high-grade copper project in Arizona that's set to dramatically boost production. Hudbay is aiming to ramp up copper output by more than 50% over the next few years. Now, in a market where demand is climbing fast, that kind of growth can translate into major upside, especially if copper supply stays tight. And unlike industry giants, Hudbay trades at a relatively low price to earnings ratio, meaning that investors aren't paying a huge premium for its potential. Now, if the company hits its targets, the combination of low valuation and rapid expansion could deliver some of the fastest gains in the sector. But not every investor is chasing speed, right? So our last pick plays a different game, focusing on stability, steady returns, and decades-long reserves that can weather any market swings. Southern Copper is the definition of stability in the copper sector. With some of the largest reserves in the world, enough to last over 60 years, and extremely low production costs, it's built to perform through any market cycle. The company has a strong track record of profitability, recently posting quarterly earnings per share of $1.22, beating expectations, and net sales above $3 billion. Even with slightly lower copper volumes, tight cost controls, and revenue from byproducts, they kept their margins strong. Investors also enjoy reliable income as they pay a 80-cent quarterly dividend, yielding about 3.2%. And they have raised payouts 9 times in the past 5 years. That consistency makes it a rare income play in a volatile commodity market like copper. Growth isn't off the table either here. So they have projects in Peru and Mexico that are set to lift annual copper output over 1 million tons by 2028. So for those who want to capitalize on copper's bullish outlook without the roller coaster, Southern Copper really offers steady returns, solid growth, and a lasting strength. Okay, so you've now seen how copper is powering the physical infrastructure of the future, right? But what about the technology reshaping everything else? Well, in the next video right here, we'll dive into the top quantum computing stocks poised to explode, and it's worth getting in before the industry gets massive. That's one thing that's for sure.